Hi students, let's quickly revise 10th standard ICSE English literature play Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare. This play has 5 acts and totally 20 scenes. Act 1, Scene 1. Bassanios Problems. This scene takes place in a street in Venice, a prosperous town in Italy. It begins with Antonio, the merchant of Venice and one of the main characters of the play, looking melancholic, the reason for which is unknown. His friends Salarino and Salanio try to figure out the reason behind his anxiety. They feel that Antonio is worried about his business ventures because richly laden ships at sea, which is a risky venture. But Antonio denies this, stating that he never puts all his eggs in one basket. They ask if he has been bitten by the love bug, but Antonio rejects this ridiculous notion. Then they conclude that Antonio must be melancholic by nature. Then enter 3 more friends, Graciano, Bassanio and Lorenzo. Graciano requests Antonio to be more joyful and cheerful by nature rather than be like a statue. Antonio pays heed to this. The friends leave except Antonio and Bassanio, the 2 best friends. Bassanio reveals that he would like to go to Belmont, a fictional town in Italy, to woo Porsha, a rich heiress. She had lost her father and Bassanio was in love with her. He felt that if he could marry Porsha, not only will he win the love of his life, but he would become rich and he would be able to pay off all his debts, which he had accrued due to his lavish lifestyle. So he requests Antonio for a loan of 3,000 ducats. But Antonio has no cash because he has invested all his money in his business. And until his ships arrive, he won't be able to deliver such a big loan. But he suggests to Bassanio to take a loan from any moneylender in Venice, and he is willing to be a guarantor because he enjoys a good reputation in Venice. Scene 2. Porsha's former suitors. In Belmont, Porsha, the rich heiress, is sad and worried because her dead father had mentioned in the will that she could marry only according to the lottery of caskets. In this arrangement, there were 3 caskets, gold, silver and lead, and one of them had the portrait of Porsha. Any suitor can participate in this and could win Porsha's hand for marriage only by choosing the right casket which has Porsha's portrait in it. And there were inscriptions on these caskets stating, on gold, he who chooses this will get what all men desire. On silver, he who chooses this will get what he deserves. On lead, the inscription read, he who chooses this will have to risk everything he has. And there were 3 conditions associated with this. If a suitor fails to choose the right casket, he will have to turn back without any argument. He cannot reveal his choice to anybody, and he cannot ask any lady's hand again for marriage. Considering this, the 6 suitors who had come to Porsha's mansion returned without participating since they did not want to take any risk. Porsha, who was earlier convinced by Nerissa, her maid and her best friend, that the lottery of casket is a good way of filtering out unworthy suitors, is now happy. She in fact mocks each of these suitors by talking about their weird characteristics. Nerissa hopes that Bassanio comes to woo Porsha because she knows that there was a spark of love between Porsha and Bassanio. Scene 3. The bond is made. Bassanio is in talks with Sherlock about the loan amount. Sherlock is a rich Jewish moneylender in Venice and he hates Antonio. He's reluctant to give the loan amount of 3,000 ducats. When Antonio enters the scene, he reminds Antonio about all the insults which he had faced at Antonio's hands. Antonio discriminated against the Jewish tribe because he was a Christian of that time, and he especially hated Sherlock because Sherlock used to charge a very high rate of interest, and Antonio felt that this was exploitation by Sherlock. Antonio had spat on him, kicked him, called him a dog, ridiculed him in front of the Rialto, that is a Venetian stock exchange, the marketplace. And yet, Sherlock was willing to give the loan with a plan in mind. He asked Antonio to sign a bond stating that if Antonio could not repay the loan of 3,000 ducats within 3 months, then Sherlock would be able to collect his forfeiture, that is a pound of flesh from Antonio's body. Antonio was confident that his ships would return within 1 month and he would be comfortably able to repay the loan, so he agreed to sign the bond. Act 2, Scene 1. In Belmont, the Prince of Morocco arrives. He's a suitor with dark skin, but he's proud of it. He's also proud of his bravery. He highlighted all the brave acts he had done and was willing to do to win Porsha. But Porsha makes it very clear that the only way she would marry was through the lottery of caskets. Morocco agrees to participate in it. Scene 2. Lancelot and the masquerade preparations. Lancelot is Sherlock's servant. He's Christian and he dislikes his master because he's very strict and doesn't give him much food. He's in a dilemma whether to leave Sherlock's services and join Bassanios' services, since Bassanio was on the lookout for new servants before leaving for Belmont. Finally, he decides to quit Sherlock's services. He meets his old father Gobbo, who's almost blind, and tries to prank him. Later, he meets Bassanio, who accepts him in his service as a servant. Now, Bassanio is planning a masquerade party on the eve of leaving for Belmont. Scene 3. Lancelot's leavetaking of Jessica. Jessica is Sherlock's daughter. She's Jewish, but she's in love with a Christian. She feels her home is like a prison because of the strict father, who would never approve of her relationship with a Christian named Lorenzo. She was entertained by Lancelot, the servant, but was sad that he was now leaving. Scene 4. Lorenzo's elopement plans. Jessica requested Lancelot to deliver a message to Lorenzo. When Lorenzo reads the letter, he realizes that the plan was that during the masquerade party, when Sherlock would be away, Jessica would dress up like a page, that is a male servant, and escape with Lorenzo. And during the elopement, they would also steal Sherlock's treasure from his house. Scene 5. Sherlock's leave-taking of Jessica. On the day of the masquerade party, Sherlock is unsure whether he should attend the party or not because he was a Jew and he did not want to eat with the Christians since the Christians were pork eaters. But finally, he decided to attend the party to try to waste Bassanios' money. He tells his daughter to take care of the house, to lock all the doors and windows. Ironically, it is Jessica who would betray him and rob his wealth. Scene 6. The elopement. Graciano was waiting for Lorenzo to arrive. Once he arrived, the elopement took place. Jessica took a couple of bags filled with ducats and diamonds and eloped with Lorenzo. The plan was that they would attend the masquerade party and then they would escape via a gondola boat. Scene 7. Moroccos Choice. When Morocco read the inscriptions on the caskets, he made his decision that lead was too cheap a metal to have Porsha's portrait, and silver too was of less value compared to gold. So he chose the golden casket solely because of its attractive appearance. In the casket, he saw a skull with a scroll in which the message written was, "All that glitters is not gold." He had been deceived by appearances and had to return disappointed. Porsha was glad. Scene 8. News of Sherlock and Antonio. So on one hand, Sherlock has lost his daughter and a lot of wealth from his house. And there was a rumor that even Antonio had lost his ships. His ship seemed to have been wrecked in the English Channel, which would be a huge loss for him, as he was already under debt via creditors. Scene 9. Aragon's Choice. The Prince of Aragon is the next suitor in Belmont. He's arrogant. When he reads the inscriptions on the caskets, he philosophizes a lot. He rejects lead because even he judges a book by its cover. And he rejects gold because he feels that he should not have the herd mentality. He chooses silver because he feels that everybody should get what they deserve. And he wanted to know what he deserves. And the portrait he found inside it was that of a blinking idiot. So when he read the scroll, he realized that he had lost the lottery and he returned disappointed. Act 3, Scene 1. Taunts upon Sherlock. Sherlock was hysterical when he discovered that he had been looted by his own daughter. He ran across the street and reached the Duke. He woke him up to check with Antonio and Bassanio regarding the elopement. But he realized later that Jessica had eloped with Lorenzo on a separate gondola and Antonio and Bassanio had no role to play in that. Scene 2. Bassanios' Choice and Departure. So on one hand, Sherlock was stealing up to take revenge from Antonio, while on the other hand, Bassanio was now presented with a choice of 3 caskets. Porsha hoped that he could win, but she could not give him any hint because of her father's will. Bassanio, being a true lover, chose a lead casket because he did not go according to the outer appearances of silver and gold. He felt that a true lover should be willing to sacrifice whatever he has. And he saw Porsha's portrait in the lead casket. Porsha was overjoyed that soon they would get married. But then came some bad news. Salarino brought a letter from Antonio. Even Jessica and Lorenzo came along with him. In the letter, Antonio tells Bassanio his deadline to pay the 3,000 ducats back to Sherlock was up. And now Sherlock was insistent on taking a pound of flesh from near his heart, which would mean definite death. He had no regrets, and he just wanted to see Bassanio once before dying. Bassanio reveals the entire truth to Porsha, who asks Bassanio to marry her quickly and then take 60,000 ducats to Venice, repay the loan 20 times over to Sherlock, and save Antonio, the best friend of Bassanio. But Jessica had mentioned that Sherlock might not accept this because he was adamant on taking revenge from Antonio, due to which he had already lost a lot of business because Antonio would give loans to people without any interest. Porsha had a plan B, which she revealed to Nerissa. Scene 3. Sherlock's encounter with Antonio. Antonio, who was jailed since he was being sued, requested Sherlock to forgive him, but Sherlock said that he would not change his mind at all. Scene 4. Porsha prepares for her departure. Porsha requested Lorenzo and Jessica to take care of her mansion in her absence and said that she and Nerissa would pray for their respective husbands in a monastery. Nerissa had also married Graciano while Bassanio was marrying Porsha. Porsha sent her servant Balthazar to Dr. Bellario, a top judge and lawyer, for a letter and some clothes. Scene 5. Lorenzo and Jessica at Belmont. All alone in the mansion, they had romantic talks and banter where Jessica praised Porsha. Act 4, Scene 1. The trial scene. This is the longest and the most important scene. Initially, the Duke requested Sherlock to show mercy on Antonio. The Duke was aware that he could not overrule the contract because the prosperity and the independence of Venice depended on obedience to the law. Sherlock even rejected the offer of 60,000 ducats by Bassanio. Then came a young lawyer in replacement for Dr. Bellario for the case. Initially, she poetically explained the quality of mercy to Sherlock, but Sherlock insisted on following the bond to the letter. So the lawyer turned the tables on Sherlock and said that he can extract a pound of flesh from near Antonio's heart only if he can be sure that he would not drop a single drop of blood, which was not mentioned in the contract. If Sherlock spilled blood, he would lose all his wealth to the state. So Sherlock gave up his claim and agreed to just take the money. But the lawyer reminded him that he wanted justice. The lawyer also said that Sherlock was trapped in another law. Since he was a foreigner who had plotted against the life of a Venetian citizen, his life was in the hands of the Duke, and half his property would go to the state treasury and the remaining half would go to the victim, Antonio. The Duke and Antonio showed mercy and allowed him to live. But it was decided that the state would return half the wealth to Sherlock so that he can survive, but the remaining half would stay with Antonio, who would be a trustee. Now Sherlock had to agree to 2 conditions. He has to sign a will stating that after his death, all his property, the half with Antonio and the half with himself, will be given to Jessica and Lorenzo. And the second condition was that he will have to convert to Christianity, which means he can no longer do money lending. Sherlock had no option but to agree to this. Scene 2. The giving away of the rings. At the time of the marriage between Graciano and Nerissa and Bassanio and Porsha, the wives had given their husbands rings as a symbol of their love. And the husbands had promised that they would not part with it under any circumstances. But now, when Bassanio asked the lawyer who had saved his best friend's life for a reward or a token of appreciation, The lawyer wanted that ring. Bassanio reluctantly had to give the ring to prevent the lawyer from getting displeased. Act 5, Scene 1. Happy return to Belmont. All the characters returned to Belmont, where Jessica and Lorenzo were having a romantic conversation. Porsha welcomes Antonio, but notices that Graciano and Nerissa were having an argument. Nerissa saw that Graciano had given his ring, and she accused him of giving it to a lady in Venice, whereas Graciano said that he only gave it to the clerk of the lawyer out of gratitude. Bassanio too felt guilty for having given the ring, and Porsha was very upset with this. Antonio felt that he was responsible for all this, but then Porsha reveals that she was the lawyer in Venice. She had disguised as the lawyer. She got the wig and the robe from Dr. Valerio, and Nerissa was the clerk to assist her. So they return the rings to the husbands. She delivers good news to Antonio, stating that 3 out of his 6 ships had returned safely, so he won't go bankrupt. And she gives the will, signed by Sherlock, to Jessica and Lorenzo.
Hi students, this is AJ sir. If you like this video, press the like button. If you would like to enroll for my online test series or online lectures, email me or message me on Instagram. Check the description for more information.